I'm going to be not quite so loose. I'm going to be a little bit more deliberate. Okay. I'm still, now you'll see as I'm doing this, I'm going to be going through the same motions. A lot of times, though, as I'm doing it, I don't necessarily put a lot of lines on the paper.
Okay.
There's a lot of hand movement. So as I'm going through, and in this case now, he's really giving a twist. So I'm actually coming through, drawing a twist. Coming through, and we're seeing the back of the buttocks here. We're seeing the front up here. Again. So now, as I approach this a little bit more, now come through the pit of the neck. So twisting, and shoulders really up here. I want to push the idea that we're down without starting too much here, but we're seeing the front up here going through, and then he's really twisting. So down in here, as I'm doing this now, I'm starting to take and actually hit corners of the ribs. He's got very strong protrusions there. You can really feel the change in shapes here. And the pelvis is now fitting in. The back is behind here. So now going through. Leg, as I'm drawing this, coming through. Feel the pressure. Right. Here's where I'm making a judgment call here. I'm drawing this going away because I'm seeing the underside of the tendons here, and having it going that way. And this is taking and coming back. Through. So at this point, I'm drawing at a different level of development of the thing. Now, I would make this arm probably come out a little bit more to get a cleaner sense of how this thing will go back, maybe even dropping it back in the stool over here. So you're really changing it. Yeah? And I'm going to start to pull this around a little bit. So now, if we look at taking the idea of the box in, so this becomes pretty obvious now that we're seeing this going this way. And we're seeing the pelvis is going in the opposite direction, going back that way. Now, you have to keep in mind that the pelvis doesn't look anything like a box, nor does the rib cage. Yeah, these are just tools to help us see. So now, the whole gesture is one of taking and feeling a series of twisting. So in doing that, I'm taking into consideration this box now. Idea, pelvis, this point here, and feel the corner rib cage here. So I'm very clearly thinking a box, the rib cage on the other side of your back there. And what we feel as we come through now is a series of very, very strong pulls across to this point. This is, you feel the stretching, you feel the volume going through, and even here we get a series of overlapping planes that exaggerates that twist even. That's the point. Okay. So now, come through. Then we would take and be pulling from behind, back here, coming over, and coming through. So as I'm doing this now, I'm taking into consideration this idea of the box, because this would be a corner here. And we can feel the leg now fitting into, this would be the tensor muscle pulling from here, and coming through. So now, as I draw this leg, I'm beginning with the straight through here. Thinking of the corner, this is really, to me, again, this is really a box now. Okay. Visualize this as a box going in, going through. But it's what we're getting here is he's going over this bench, getting a strong compression at that point. And you can see this pushing up. So, but still, there's a side here, side of the box. Feel these forms. But now, as we go through, see, this is part of this, the whole expressiveness of the drawing. You want to feel this is dropping, and it's going down inside here, and then we're coming out from behind. You want to feel the mass. So then as I come through, I'm drawing the sphere, but I'm dealing, at the same time, I'm dealing with the box. Corners. These forms now are fitting into that, coming across. So as we go back up into here now, let's take I could have made this a little bit stronger. Feel stuff coming around. Feel the rib cage. So now as I pull through, now I've brought this shoulder back a little bit, so I'm making more of an exaggerated sense of that twist even. And I'm feeling these things coming through. So you're overlapping. I'm still taking into consideration the corner of the box. And the other side of the sacrum, coming in, down. So now we start to build up into this. Okay. Center. Clavicle is going around behind. And we're lifting up through. Now this whole arm, I'm going to take and treat this really, now this really is a box. See, you have a corner here, and it's going back inside at that point, going around across the corner, the end of the scapula here, and then pulling out from behind, but it's working around that corner. Now, as I go back down here, like I pushed the arm back. I've got a corner here, so I'm really thinking of this line coming down. Biceps are on one side, right here. And heading in, we have the brachial muscle in between. Here, between the brachial muscles in between the biceps and the triceps. I get the triceps back here. By taking in, I'm constantly going back to this idea of box. So you can see the side here, you can feel these forms fitting in. Through, and we're pushing into that. And we start to come back across, going across the chest. We can feel that the pectoralis muscles now are out on top. And again, I'm thinking the plane, the angle of the box coming through, dropping and creating thinking of these as box forms almost. So we have sides, come over. So this is taking in, what I'm doing is taking the drawing to another level. And I'd have to reconcile that twisting, or it's a bit much. I have to try to feel this coming through. Okay. Now, so all of this, you want to feel this is pushing down into this. It's going over. Good. Now, same thing, you got to go from here back in. Taking going over, going through. Now I've got, it looks like I've got this a bit too high here. I need to feel the scapula coming out and back. It's coming through. And so the box. Yeah. Feel cheekbones, eye planes. So, I'm just, all of this is just a variations on building the box.
That's how you would use the box tool to complete a finished, a more finished drawing? Is that
Yeah, it's just a tool. It's just a tool. Yeah, you don't. The box is not an end.
Right, of course not.
Yeah, it's just the beginning, and so it's helping to take and orientate to see things where they belong. There's a feel that this is coming across and going like this. And going through here. This is going up. Okay? The arm, feel the shoulders way up here, down here. And the arm is going down and through. Okay. So now, the more I look, now we can see that this is actually got to go this way now. Adjusting there. Center is over here. So you have to be conscious, like I was already starting to go off on it. So thinking, okay, where are we going? Now, the neck is fitting into this rib cage. The rib cage, it's really going this way. So I'm going to emphasize, I'm going to make this even stronger because it makes a difference here. And in fact, we're seeing so much of the side. It wouldn't go, this isn't, the center is over here going this way. So you're coming through, you're seeing the corners now. Okay? This is coming over, and it's really pushing out. Then to emphasize the difference and to feel, in other words, when you look at him, what we think of is that there's a stretching here, here, and that we're getting a compression of this pushing up into that. So now, in doing that, then I would take and start to make this, even make this stronger here. Feel the pelvis going across here. And then we start coming across. Okay, this is going in. It looks like I'm a little low with that. Come up higher than here. But this is like now the box, see, it's really going that way. Box is going that way. So now what's happening is you come through, you feel this, and it's the pressure. Feel the compression. Right? So you're really pushing this, and then we would start to feel more of this. Then the leg is fitting into this, buttocks coming underneath. So now, as I go through, I'm feeling this thing coming out here. So now, applying some of the bit of the box ideas coming through, so you can see the application here a little bit. You look at his leg, And we can see really clear. You look across, we can see the bone. We can see that angle there. Okay. And so this really is like a box there. So you can see that corner coming through, feel that going in. You can see the end here. That literally is a box. Okay. Then the patella is coming over that. And then if we're just taking in, going back, we can say, well, all right, this is going back in here, and we've got this sort of a corner of this box here, and we can start to see that this is a side here. But we also have, this is volume. These are those spheres that we were talking about last week in the beginning of the drawing. See, this is a round. Right? And feel the compression. Feel this stuff going through from the underneath. And even here, I draw this going back to that ankle. Then I can feel the fullness of this volume side. But it's building, it's all building on the idea. So you can see, even as little as I've drawn here, right, you're trying to feel this. And I would take, and as I worked on the drawing, see, I would take and use these lines, the way the muscles go, to help make that gesture even stronger. Okay. So it's making the eye move. It's making the eye move. See, this is way up here. So then the other shoulder, going back. Now I would, again, if I look at where he's at here, well, this really is back a bit. See? Even because when I'm drawing, if we look at this, let's draw this as a ground plane here. We take and think of this. And we're taking and start to see the hand is really behind in here. Okay, so now in doing that, we can see that then, but I'm doing all that to justify here the fact that seeing the shoulder here as a box, seeing this corner here, and this is going down. See, and then once you start to look and visualize and see these forms as these three-dimensional volumes, then you can look at this and say, well, yeah, this is really just, this is, see, visually, this is a cylinder that we can feel fitting into that box. Right? So that it's all this three-dimensional, the construction then becomes, it's a tool, right? That helps you to visualize. And so they come down. Now I'm moving this rib over farther here. When you feel it's really pushing out here. Come through. And we can feel this fitting in. Okay. Now, the head, I've got way too small here. Clavicle going up, going around through, trapezius behind, ear has to go back up here. This is coming through. But approaching this as a box now, so we can see this. So you're seeing this whole mass up here. But now if we keep, and I'm just carrying the things a little bit farther to emphasize how all these things work. Okay. So you're taking, see, well, even here now, you can see the whole top of this shoulder. So instead of just a little piece, see, it's the whole thing that we're seeing. Okay. Now, I go back looking at this head. Say, well, okay, now here's where, again, the planes. You see the planes pushing in. And we can feel this whole shape now start to drop in and around, sticking out more. Some sculpted sculpting, cutting away, and building on this. Now, since we started out with this gesture going this way, then I could come back in, and I would make this stronger now. Even pushing this out farther. Okay. And we start to pull this in more. So each step now, as I go through, and most people would say, well, you're exaggerating. Not really. No. It's just that I just think I'm not exaggerating. I'm seeing with an educated eye.
Yeah, and it looks dynamic. It's showing the dynamicity of
Yeah.
pose.
And now you can hear, you can see, you can feel how all of this comes around. Pulling out in front. Mm-hmm. Now, so if we take this other leg here, okay, it's going back up here. This is it's going away. So the top of that knee, see? It's this. Going back down. Now, you can see as you look at the top, look at the leg here, that this, we have up here, we have a very clear top to side. Right? But as we come down, see, then what we have is we have these large abductors now become another volume that's taking and pulling and we're fitting into that. And then we would keep pulling from here. See, now I can take this, because all of this now is really coming through, and we pull into. It's the box, but it's also modifying it, playing with it. But it's essentially we come down to saying, well, we're talking about corners, which then we do. But these would be all things that if you're painting, then become important.
Oh, that's the brush you're talking about, water brush.
Yeah.
Oh, nice and thin.
You guys should be drawing. You can't since I'm sitting in your spot, but let's, okay, this is a cool one here. Here's where I really focus on the volumes going down. Sag.